Vegan and carnivore diets are both equally absurd. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And again, I'm coming from just a place of common sense, understanding the human body, understanding nutrition, and understanding what the healthiest, fittest people on earth, what the best athletes have always done. And when you really look at both of these ideas objectively, they both need to be rejected outright. In terms of being what's optimal for health and fitness and athleticism. I'm not saying there can't be ethical considerations for people, but when your considerations extend beyond ethics, right, anything beyond your morality, and they come over into the other areas, these diets are both problematic. They are suboptimal, in many, many ways. All right. And we need to be aware of that. We have to quit pushing these ideologies like this into health and fitness. And again, let me be clear, I'm not saying we can't follow a variety of macronutrients, okay? I'm not saying people cannot thrive on very low carbohydrate diets. I'm saying they cannot thrive without plants and vegetables. Okay, that's the problem with the carnivore side. And the other side equally with the veganism. Again, there are things that we benefit from, that we not only health-wise benefit from the animal stuff. Some of it gives you such an enormous advantage, especially when it comes to things like body composition, that it absolutely matters. And it matters because the bulk of the data shows us that gaining muscle and maximizing muscle mass and minimizing body fat absolutely improves health in and of itself, right? There are health benefits to gaining muscle. There are health benefits to gaining muscle, and it's relatively open-ended. So let's discuss both of those, because obviously the vegan one feels like in some ways it's less obvious. Like you can't even be drawn towards the carnivore diet unless you're essentially insane, right? It is not a diet for anyone remotely sane, logical, rational. It is itself a mental illness. But let's talk about the vegan one, because at least we can make an appeal to ethics, right? We can make an appeal to ethics with it. And again, I can appreciate that. I can disagree with those ethics, but I can at least respect the fact, right? We can respect that fact, okay? That if it for them is about animal rights and animal welfare, whether it's correct or not, it's irrelevant. It's still well-meaning, and it's intended to be ethical and moral. All right. I can't hate that part of it. And I can say, hey, they have a right to that. A person has a right to their personal ethics. Absolutely. So the problem is again, the body composition and nutritional deficiencies. It's essentially a diet that without supplementation is not going to work. It is not going to work. It is nearly impossible to have perfect health on a vegan diet without supplementation, because it's deficient in too many things. Now their argument would be, yeah, but we can supplement those things. True, but then we're over to your diet's not really optimal without adding a bunch of synthetic supplements back in, right? Not even talking about just protein at this point. So we're talking about things like B12, okay? We're talking about various fatty acids, right? Even getting appropriate amounts of omega-3s. It's actually difficult. Not saying impossible, but it's difficult. But you definitely are going to start running into a variety of nutritional deficiencies if you're not extremely careful with supplementation, with food choices. It creates a lot of extra work. And that alone, given the difficulty of pursuing a healthy diet and body composition today, is already hard enough without adding that extreme complexity, okay? Furthermore, when it becomes an ideology instead of saying and addressing that, and many are not willing to do that, this is a problem, okay? When it becomes the foods are bad because they're animal products, well, that's not true. There are plenty of absurdly healthy foods that are animal products that are linked to all sorts of health benefits, okay, and positive health outcomes. So this idea that all disease is coming from animal products is absolutely ludicrous, especially when given that refined sugars play such an enormous and massive role in poor health, documented in the literature. They'll talk about also cardiovascular risk, yet, coconut oil will still be consumed. Coconut oil is absolutely linked to elevated LDLs, elevated to all sorts of problems. There are animal saturated fats in some forms that don't even produce that, like milk, right? Butter does, but whole milk, for example, is completely neutral in terms of that. But a bunch of vegan products are not. Coconut oil, even refined sugars, impact your whole lipid profile. Okay, this stuff is garbage. These are enormous contributors. Heavily refined vegetable oils. These are all vegan. These are all plant-based. They are enormous contributors to poor health. And at least the carnivore people get that part right, while not admitting they probably shouldn't be eating the refined animal products they eat, like tons of bacon and butter, which we know are also linked to terrible health and blood work and health outcomes. Because again, people are getting caught up in their dogma instead of saying, hey, what's healthy? It's, no, my ideology determines what's healthy. Well, that's a problem. Because plenty of vegans are fat and unhealthy and get cancer and heart disease and all these things. Lots of them do. Now, to their advantage, do they focus on fiber? Do they oftentimes get plenty of vegetables, plenty of antioxidants? They don't go the junk food route? Absolutely. So that is a pro in their favor. Okay, absolutely. Most people should be eating more plants and vegetables. They should be eating more fiber. Absolutely. They get that part right. It's just the extreme end of the animal products are the problem, when realistically just as many, if not more, of our health problems come from the refined plant foods. And it's not all animal products. It's definitely not any of your leaner meats. It's definitely not milk. Right? These things are absolutely not the health problems, and the research shows that very, very clearly. All right, and so again, nutritional deficiencies, difficulty gaining muscle, difficulty with amino acid sufficiency. Some of the newest studies have confirmed this, that when someone who's an experienced lifter goes over to a vegan diet, even a well-structured one, and in that last study, they all lost muscle, all of them. It requires a lot of care there. Therefore, it's not optimal by any stretch of the imagination, and it's therefore ludicrous to implement it for any purpose at all other than your ethical considerations, because for everything else it is a potential negative. It's more difficult. The carnivore, where do we even start? It's insane by any stretch of the imagination. The data for fiber, the data for antioxidants, the data for vegetables and fruits and things and legumes and all these things towards our health is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And in fact, everyone who's healthy on a ketogenic diet tends to eat lots and lots of these things. They always do, every time, who have great blood work. And in fact, the carnivore pushes the same nonsense. Oh, if it's animal, it's good, to where they'll eat foods that are harmful to your health, proven in the lab. Butter, harmful to your health in the lab. We know this. Okay. They'll eat honey sometimes because it's an animal product, therefore it's good. Again, complete insanity. Complete insanity. All of this is nonsense. And these are ideas that are coming from a place of mental illness, of making your diet an entire ideology instead of being a rational thinking human being.